So I'm here with Ellen from the Collingwood Children's Farm, and we are doing the handover of their new Massey Ferguson 2850E tractor. So we'll go through some of the operation. I know you've run the tractors previously, so probably a lot of it's going to be familiar, but if you want to jump up into the operator station, I can go through some of the features. So this machine is very different to your last one in that it's a hydrostatic transmission. You may or may not be aware that on a tractor everything is colour-coded. Yes. So anything to do with motion is colour-coded orange, anything to do with PDO is colour-coded yellow, anything with hydraulics is generally either blue or grey. So over here we have got our 3-range hydrostatic transmission. So you've got your low, medium and high position. High position is generally for transport when you need to move quickly around the farm. Anytime you're doing work, again, you would use either your medium or your low just to maximise the torque of the engine. This lever down here is your 4-wheel drive activation. So when it's up, that's 2-wheel drive. Yep. When it's down, that's 4-wheel drive.
Okay, great.
Over here you've got your brake.
Yep.
So that is tied together for normal use, but for more manoeuvrability you can flip that lever over and then you have what we call turning brake. So it brakes the rear axle independently. This lever here controls your cruise control function. I'm not sure how applicable that's going to be here because you don't have long stretches, but if you're doing mowing or whatever, that is quite handy. You set your forward speed and you lock that lever in and then the tractor will keep that speed. Up on the dashboard we've got our indicators, hazard lights and headlight switch, all pretty self-explanatory. These 2 switches are for your emissions control, and that's actually quite important within a city environment because this is a very, very low emissions engine. So it runs a DPF, diesel oxidizing catalyst, and so it's very, very clean burning. It will do an automatic DPF burn off from based on hours of use. From time to time you may need to do a manual one, but I'd encourage you to read through your manual on that front. So we've covered our cruise control. Over here is your brake release. So in order to release your brake, you would push down on your pedals and then and then to set. Yeah, exactly. You've got over there with your right hand, that's your hand throttle. So you set your revs. For normal operation, you really ideally should have the engine revving at or above 1500 RPM. If you're using a PDO driven implement, you need to have it round at 540. This machine has an electric PDO engagement, which is very similar to your last machine. It's a definite motion, you have to push it and turn it to engage your PDO. This button engages what we call a soft start. That gradually increases the revs on the PDO so it doesn't engage too rapidly. So I think we're good on all controls over there. Ignition switch there, pretty obvious. Your loader control is sitting right here, so it's all on one joystick. Again, it's identical operation to your previous tractor. So pull the lever down to lift the bucket, push it forward to lower it, crowd and dump. And then if you want to lock out that function completely, you can actually push that lever down and then that lever is inoperable. So that just means you can't inadvertently run the loader. And then you've got your float function as well. So as you've just done, you push that lever all the way forward and that will allow the loader to float. So this is your lift and lower for your rear linkage. If you want to return to a set position, you would just set that little adjuster, and then when you lower your linkage, that's just a bit of a reminder as to where to stop. This tractor is equipped with a single set of hydraulic remotes, and that's what this lever does here. So if you're running something like a log splitter or something like that, you can actually run it off your hydraulics on the tractor. Forward and reverse operation is so simple because you don't have to worry about engaging a clutch. It's basically you choose the ratio you want on your lever over there, bring your revs to your 1500, and if you want to go forward, you push that pedal forward, and when you want to go back, you push it back.
Wow, what a game changer.
Yeah, the farther forward or backward you push it, increases or decreases your speed. So as you drive it, you'll feel like really good control. And the other thing is nice is if you're on a hill and you just take your foot off, the tractor will tend to want to hold itself on the hill through the transmission. I mean, you may still sort of creep forward a little bit, but it's not like you need to jump right on the brakes because you still do have the drivetrain engaged. Behind your left heel, that knob controls the what they call the rate of drop, so how quickly the linkage
yeah.
lowers. So if you've got a heavy implement on the back, you might want to wind that in so that it lowers more controlled. But then if you've got nothing on there and you want to hook up to an implement, you'd want to open that right up so you've got quick response. That one there is your rear diff lock. If you get into any tricky terrain where there's a big loss of traction or very uneven terrain, the way that works is you wait until the tractor wheels have stopped moving, you push that down with your heel. That locks the two rear wheels together and you should be able to gain traction. And then once you're out of the situation, you release that and then it'll just disconnect automatically. The only thing that's important to remember there is don't engage that while the wheels are turning, because it can cause severe damage. And you've got a couple of adjustments with your seat. So underneath there, you've got a lever for your fore and aft movement.
Oh, yep.
That guy there at the back, that just sets the preload on the springs.
Yeah.
So that's basically adjusted to the user.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had to lower our other one.
Yeah, right.
It was set to like 70 kgs and most of our drivers are women, so we had to lower that down to 50 kgs.
Well, we've got some really heavy guys at our workshop, and when we move tractors around the yard, I'll get in and the seat's like way up here because one of the heavy boys has been on it. So yeah, I know the feeling. To fold down the ROPS, if you need to get into a shed or a low clearance area, it's simply a matter of pulling out those two pins. You just take the thumb screw here and just slacken off the tension, and that'll allow those pins to pull out. So then it's just a matter of folding that down, being careful of course to not pinch your fingers. So that is now folded down out of your way.
Fantastic.
Obviously you lose your rollover protection, so it's only a temporary thing.
Is there a seatbelt on there?
It sure is, yep. That is your folding ROPS. We'll go through doing your daily checks like oil and water and such, and your air filter. So in order to make that easier to access, it's a good idea to pick your loader up. But there's always a very small danger that if the hose ruptures, that can drop. You're supplied with what's called a ram stop. Strap that in place. And what that does is if there was to be a hose rupture or a leak, that can't collapse. Anyway, opening the bonnet, you've got the catch right there. Yep. Just pull that out and the bonnet lifts like that. So you can check your engine oil over here, just the dipstick on the side.
Yep, perfect.
You've got your battery there in case you ever need to jump start it, very easy to access. Around this side here you've got your radiator coolant, which you can actually just see through the grill.
Okay.
And then the other critical one, just check from time to time, is your air filter. You've got two air filters, so you've got a little inner one for really fine stuff, and then your outer one for more coarse. There we go. Yeah. So realistically, that is all you would need to look at on a day-to-day basis. Just your engine oil, check your water. Probably don't need to open that up every time, but those are your basic daily checks. And then that bonnet just closes just like that.
Brilliant.
The only other oil you need to check is in the, you can see it in the back axle. So right down here, that little sight glass, if you can find a level spot, the oil should be about midway in there. So this is exactly the same as your previous tractor. Basically what you want to do is make sure that there's no weight on it to be binding up any of the pins. And the first step is to just come over here and grab that lever and retract it or move it across and then catch it on there. And what you've done there is you've pulled those two pins out.
Yep.
Well, now you can do the rest. Jump onto the tractor and I'll step you through the process.
Okay.
So if you want to start it up, so all you need to do is the loader lever. So you're just going to push that forward, okay? And then you are going to, you're a natural. So just curl it It's kind of difficult to see, but now you can see your headstock's completely out, right? So now you're free. But what I always forget to do is to disconnect the hoses.
Yeah.
So
So you got to float it first.
in this case, so what there will be pressure in that line. So what I do is I turn the ignition on so that we've got power going to the solenoid,
Oh yeah.
and I'll just do that. I'll just
yeah.
push that button,
Yep.
and then that takes any pressure out of those two lines. And then it's just a matter of disconnecting those two lines. And then in this case we feed them through there, and they can sit there. And now we can go and grab the forks and fit them.
Okay.
So you're in gear.
Yeah.
Just raise your revs a wee bit, like till you're sitting at around 1500. And then you just press on that.
Goodbye.
I like to have that tilted quite far forward.
Oh
Yeah, like that. And then I'll spot you, but you can see what you're doing anyway. That's it. Okay, and then keep going. You've clearly done that before. What do you think about?
This is so much easier.
Yeah. And it just allows you to like just trickle along really
Yeah, because that
slow.
was the hard thing about the other, especially working in a tight space, is you go to move and it's like poof. Like,
Yeah, that's right.
But this, you can really be very precise, which is nice.
And if your foot happened to slip off the clutch,
Yeah.
and there was someone, yeah,
Well, for us, a lot of times also animals running around. so
exactly, that's right.
It's good.
No, it gives you so much more control.
Yeah.
For inexperienced operators, it's just a huge advantage. And so all I did was just put that lever back and it's on, ready to go. Now we filled your rear tyres with water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you've got a nice bit of ballast back there too. So
So this is very exciting.
I think this is a much better fit, I reckon, this tractor.
I could even just get in here first time round and do a 3-point turn.
Yeah, yeah.
That itself is a winner. This is such a game changer for us. Thank you. So many staff were intimidated to use the tractor because it was, too complicated.
Yeah.
Now this is very accessible. We're going to use this all the time now.
Yeah.